Welcome everybody to the final main event at the Woolfer Weekend 2020, the virtual weekend. So we thank you all for joining us. We are here with Macy Gray. And first of all, we're so ecstatic because it's not often that we have a Grammy Award winner, five-time Grammy nominee, actress, and philanthropist, mother. I mean, just like the polyglot of all polyglots, Renaissance women in our presence. So I hope you all will just feel the gloriousness of this as we are, Nina and I. Of course, I'm Tulani Bridgwater. I'm here with Nina Collins, who is our founder, HBIC, as I like to say with love. And we're here to share a little bit of Macy's career and her interests, and most importantly, her charitable work, which is very timely. And of course, we'll let her explain all this because it's always best to hear directly from the person who is in charge of things. But just to kind of get things rolling, I would love to talk to you about how things are going with you in quarantine as relates to your music. And I'm going to say this first and foremost, if anyone is being creative in quarantine, you're like unicorn people. So embrace all of that because most of us are trying to just not be under the bed. But Macy, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, so for those of us who didn't finish English class or pay attention, what's a polyglot?
You are the lady of all things. So it's like, it's better than a Renaissance woman because I feel like being a Renaissance woman is a little, dare I say, it's a little white. And I feel like we can extend beyond that. So you're a mistress, a mistress of all things.
Okay, I got it.
I
Yeah.
have to interrupt just one more time, Macy, to say how fabulous you look. Do you tell your age? I'm 51. Or are you secretive about your age?
51, 69. Did you say?
Yeah, me too. 1969. Yeah, August. Tulani is the baby here then. Tulani is like 48.
Yeah.
You look so young. I would have never thought you were 51.
Oh, well, thank you. You look young too. All right, sorry, go ahead. I said to Tulani before we got started, since Tulani knows a ton about the music business and I know very little, I thought Tulani should take the lead. I just want to ask you lots of personal questions.
Well, we can take turns, and you can first of all you can say move along. That's always that's always okay. But I just would love for people to know how you've had such an incredible body of work and you have such a long career, and so we're not going to have to bore you with all of going into that. But I mean, everyone who's watching, I hope, has heard at least one album's worth of your material because not only do you have an incredible voice, but you also have a really impressive body of work, and so yay you.
Thank you so much. You can just keep going. No,
No, I'll just keep talking about all things fabulous with Macy Gray.
thanks.
Yeah. So I know you're originally from Canton, Ohio, which is not far from where a lot of my folks are from. They're from Illinois and Michigan. And you've got that kind of Midwestern, I think people call that authenticity. And I think that always comes through in your music, which I love.
Yeah, I'm so Midwest. I'm the poster child of the Midwest.
You are, for Black folks, a little bit.
I try to be all hip, but I'm such a cornball, and I can't get it out of me. It is what it is.
You know what though? I love it because I feel like it's just real. It's just who we are. I'm still contacting people in Michigan trying to find recipes for food that folks don't eat in other places.
Cow tongue and ham hock.
Mm-hmm.
So have you been producing music in quarantine? I'm curious.
Yeah, we just did a whole album, and it'll be ready early next year. It's a just record industry talk. Unless you're already set up and ready to go, it's a bad time to put music out because of the holidays. Yeah. Like once Halloween hits, all you're gonna hear is Christmas songs, and so if
I hate
you're not fully set up and out there, then your stuff gets lost, and then you forget about you. Then January comes, and you try to come back, and it never works. So that's like rule number one.
Yeah.
Putting out a record during the holidays.
But it's going to be interesting to see how the record companies handle what's going on right now and having to do everything virtual. And so maybe we'll get to reimagine the music industry a little bit, which would be nice, I think.
That would be cool. I think they're gonna have to reimagine almost everything. You know, I
Yeah.
think everything is gonna have to have a do-over, regardless of who the president turns out to be.
Ooh.
I just give that to you. My bad.
I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. So you've got music coming out, which is impressive.
Thank
I know
you.
we've been trying to figure out how to do that on our side. Um, but being a woman in the music industry is not easy in the best of times. And then being a Black woman in the music industry, especially in R&B and pop, is not an easy thing. So I would love if you could just share a little bit of your successes and maybe some insights to familiarize people with what it's been like to be you.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, it's just life. It happens to everybody. You have ups and downs. And, you win some, you lose some. You try to win more than you lose, and if you do that, then you're okay. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to get all excited about stuff because like you're living your life and then other people think, oh my God, that's so cool, but to you it's totally boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was telling one of my friends, she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just laying watching a movie, scratching my ass." She goes, "Oh my God, you scratch your ass?" And I was like, "Of course I'm scratching my ass." You know what I mean? So to me, it's I'm just here scratching my ass when it itches, but somebody else might go, "Oh my God," it's weird. So it's hard for me to to pick out what
Yeah.
might be everybody. I really don't know, honestly.
No, I love that attitude. It's funny. It's actually a lot about what our community is about, right? It's like we basically have this community that kind of started accidentally. Tulani and I've been in it for a long time now. And it's a bunch of women over 40 really trying to kind of take away the stigma or the shame and just be real about like what it's like being middle-aged. And as you say, there's good stuff and bad stuff. And you try and have more good stuff, but it's just real. It's just what we're all doing. It's kind of
Yeah.
struggling along. And how has menopause been for you? Are you even in menopause? And can I ask that? You just tell me to shut up if I'm getting too personal.
No, I'm not sure. Okay, because I'm not sure. I'm definitely warmer.
Yeah.
It's also 90 degrees outside. So the other day I'm in the studio and I'm hot. And I was like, "Is anybody else hot?" And they were like, "No, I'm not hot." So I don't know. I know my mother got it late. My mom didn't get hers till she was 60 something.
Really? That's late.
So if it's genetics, then no. I
So,
don't know. I
so
don't know.
you're still, I mean, again, tell me if I'm asking, but are you still getting your period? Because that's a hint. So I haven't had a period in 3 years, so I'm fully menopausal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. If it doesn't happen this week, then I'm super late.
Oh, all right. So you're still in the early, so you're in like the peri phases, which is where like honestly, I think that's when you feel the worst, is like before it really starts to happen. Basically, before, like once you stop your period, and people will tell you this, but you don't understand it till it happens, and no one talks about it. But and like my mother's dead, and I didn't have anyone to ask. But once your period is really over for over a year, and then you kind of see some doctors and figure out whether you need hormones or not, you actually start to feel much better. But when you're in that phase where your period's like erratic and you're like sometimes hot and you feel depressed and anxious, and of course there's COVID, so you're feeling anxious anyway, then you're really, really miserable and you're not sleeping well.
And don't forget mad, because you also get mad.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now I can go.
You just ask me, ask us. Yeah, and you get really, really mad. That was another thing about perimenopause, is you're really fucking pissed off a lot.
I didn't know. I thought I was just very extra, and I thought people were just rubbing me the wrong way. But I was like, I remember having like flying off the handle, and about 3 hours after being like, that felt really disproportionate to the situation.
Am I overreacting, or is this menopause?
I don't know. I hope. Well, I'm down for my monthly to go away.
Okay, good. Well, that'll happen eventually. Although if it didn't happen to your mom till she was 60, you might be in for a long haul, I'm sorry to say.
I know. It's because my mother's a late bloomer, and I am too. I did everything late.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you went to film school.
I don't want to have my period for the next 10 years.
No, that would suck.
No. So
Also,
I'm
then you have to use birth control also, which sucks.
no way. I'm available to be hot and miserable and not sleep rather than have my bleed for 9 more years. I don't want to do that. So I'm cool with it.
Okay,
Yes.
well, we'll
You guys
That's-
look good. You guys look like you're fine. You're doing it.
This is first of all, let me be full up. This is all a lie. It's a lie, and I own it. But it's in honor of you. So I'm trying to bring it for this afternoon. But so I'm thinking, why don't you tell us about what you're doing with your philanthropic efforts? Because I think it's really timely. It's something that's important and that we all need to kind of hear more about and hopefully support. So tell us about it.
Okay, so we have a foundation. It's called mygood.org. And what we do is we support the families of loved ones who are victims of police violence. I could say that better. So we support families that you hear about on TV, and they've lost loved ones to police violence.
And what I love, so when I was on your website, what I loved is that you're very openly saying we're supporting the families. It's not a political statement. And you guys were really careful in your mission about focusing exclusively on, understanding that when families go through this kind of loss and trauma, they really need support. And that, like, usually all the attention is right in the moment, but then there's this whole life that you're trying to lead afterwards that's completely affected negatively by what's happened. And that's where people kind of get forgotten about. And it looks like you guys are really kind of stepping into that space, which is really admirable. So
yeah, well, I think you hear the stories, and people don't think about what the families are going through. There's of course, the emotional burden is impossible, and then financially, losing someone is actually very expensive.
Yeah.
And mental health services is our number one, and just providing a support system for the families, to have other families to talk to.
No, I think that's wonderful.
And
So,
sorry, Tulani, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious, like, how did this come about, Macy? Like, when did you start it? And was it just this year when everything started happening this spring, or?
Yeah, it's brand new. It was actually I was watching the Ahmaud Arbery situation, and I they kept showing that video, and I'm just sitting there as a mom. I'm thinking, they got to stop showing that video because the mother is probably watching.
Yeah.
I had a family member who lost a son, not through the police, but I watched kind of firsthand what that puts you through.
Yeah, must just be hell.
So when I hear those stories, that's the first thing I think of. And then, so, I just started reaching out to different moms, and then we put the foundation together.
That is so nice. And they must have been so thrilled to hear from you. And it was kind of really like mom to mom. Like, it was just no bullshit. Like,
yeah, it's hard because like I talked to Breonna Taylor's mom a few days ago. She's very nice, and, but you don't, it's hard to have the conversation because you can't, like, say, heck, so what's up? You know what I mean?
yeah, you're kind of saying, like, I want to help, but I don't even know you, but I'm here to help.
Yeah, but you can't. What are you gonna do?
Right.
And then hey, you know what I mean? So we're here for families who mostly financial need, like hospital bills, medical bills, stuff like that. We help people get their insurance, and we're just a support system for those families, because I think a lot of people hear about the big settlements and stuff like this, but 9% of those families don't get anything, and the advocacy factor, because more than that don't get any justice. Like, even Breonna Taylor's not getting any justice. As much as we've talked about her case, they're giving her nothing. So that's why we support those families specifically, because on top of everything, they don't get any kind of vindication, and you have these moms who've lost their son or daughter 10 years ago, and they're still fighting. They're still trying to get their cases reopened.
Right. I was about to say that even if they do get a big settlement, it can take years and years, and meanwhile they need therapy and help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take forever.
And it's also one of those things that it permanently alters the trajectory of your family, right? That's the kind of intergenerational trauma that people have to contend with.
Yeah.
So that's challenging.
Yeah, it changes everything. They're never, it's not, I mean, it's not anything that I know from personal experience, but just talking to them, they don't, that's never going away. I mean, of course it's never going away, but the consequences of it are just don't let up.
Yeah. Well, and when you're stuck fighting about something for years and years, you're just never able to move through that, because you never move past it, but you can at least move through it in some way that's, healing, or at least relieving.
Exactly. I don't think they ever get any relief.
Yeah.
Talking to them. And that's what we're here for. And guess what though? We're having a big bingo game. It's our first fundraiser. You guys gotta come.
When? What is it?
October 24th. It's the week before Halloween. It's a Saturday night.
Excellent.
And we're just gonna play bingo and raise money for the foundation. There's gonna be prizes. We're gonna have a costume contest. I'm performing. Sheila E's performing.
Oh my God, that sounds so fun.
It'll be nuts.
I mean, it's on Zoom, obviously, right? It's virtual.
It's gonna be virtual, and so it's the best party in town, and you don't even have to leave your house.
I know. I have to say, starting to kind of like this. Like, you get up, you go. It takes, it doesn't take long to prepare for something. You go to your computer, then you're done. It's like not hard.
They be so lazy.
I will definitely be there on October 24th. That sounds fun.
Absolutely.
The tickets are at mygood.org. We're gonna have a blast. We're just gonna have fun.
Okay. May I ask a question about your kids? You mentioned your kids a couple times, and I'm interested. I know, I have young adult kids too. Mine are like between 20, 22, 26. So I'm wondering how many kids you have and what that's been like for you as you get a little older. Like, do you find it easier, harder? I mean, kids are a handful. Kids are challenging. I found the teenage years very, very hard.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah. That's
no
how I
matter
felt.
about your age, 22, 24, 25.
Okay. Yeah. So, and are they still living with you? Were they quarantined with you?
Yes. So we had this big plan. They were all going to move out, and then quarantine happened. So they all got stuck. Yeah. And they're stuck here. They're not like, now everybody's kind of, comfort in their laziness and not doing shit all day. So we're all just kind of here, but I gave them a new deadline next April.
Okay, they have to be out by April. Wow, you're generous. I was like, I made one of my kids move out in July, and she was really pissed. And I was like, it's stage 3 in New York. It's time to go.
Should have. You're right. I'm too nice.
Yeah,
that's their problem. Life is too easy for them, I mean, my life wasn't all rough or nothing, but it wasn't easy. Right? They're to have like a big cushion. It's too easy. So, like if you don't have to do shit, you probably won't. Not that they don't do shit, but they're really annoying, and I need them to get out of here and go do what they're gonna do. Do you know?
Yeah, what I mean? I think April. Honestly, you're being too generous. That's a long time.
Like tomorrow.
I think you need to pull that in a little bit.
You got 6 weeks before Christmas.
I should. You're right.
I don't know. My mom told me she's like, when you graduate high school, you're either going to go to college or get a job, but either way, you're moving out. And there's just and she told all 3 of us that.
That's pretty much how I feel. I mean, it was kind of nice when my kids came home for quarantine. I was a little surprised because high school was so hard, and having them home felt like a little bit of an opportunity to heal some stuff, and it was good, but it's also good to move on.
It really is. Yeah, I was out of the house when I was 14.
I was out when I was 16. Yeah. 14 is early. Where'd you go?
I went to school. I went to USC. Not when I was 14. I went to boarding school, and then I went to USC. Okay. My mother was like, out. And my mother was a teacher. She still didn't want me at the house.
I can tell you that this morning I didn't want my kids in my house, and they're 11 and 14, and I was definitely like, don't you have some place you need to go?
Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely important to because you know what happens after their 20s? You start seeing all the mistakes you made.
Totally.
And all the things that they got from you, and it's very stressful. And your middle name is already guilt, and you don't need the extra.
Oh my God, yes, Macy, I totally relate. I feel like you see the good and the bad they got from you.
Yeah, and you just don't want to, you don't want to do because it's awful. Yeah. It's better like, yeah, you're right. They go to school and then beat it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna maintain the Bridgewater, out.
Yeah. No, it's good for them.
Macy, one of the viewers watching has asked, "What is your new album about?"
It is. Well, we made an attempt to put a smile on everybody's face, get people dancing again, and but there's some references to what's going on in the world. You can't really get around that. So it's good though. I think people are gonna love it. It's gonna be good. You're gonna
Is there a title?
No, we don't have a title yet. Maybe you guys can all send some suggestions.
At
the Halloween party.
Yeah, exactly. At the Halloween party, there'll be a raffle to name Macy's album.
That would be good. You could ask a lot of money for that if someone got to name your album.
A track.
Auction the name of my album. That is so hard. You name my album and give me money.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Totally.
I have a question that's like more of like a feminism question. I noticed that your team for My Good is all women, or at least the ones who are on, who are prominently featured on the site. Is that like important to you to like be pro-woman? I mean, I would think that anyone who is a woman who isn't pro-woman is insane, but I'm just me, so.
Some people still like men.
I love men.
I'm joking.
Men.
Can I tell you something? If I was a man, I'd be so gay because I don't think I could deal with living with a woman and on a day-to-day forever basis because we're a lot.
We are a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and get it done, and nobody does stuff like a girl. Men do things that only men can do, and we do things only we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And My Good is kind of a girl thing as far as putting it together, but we're having fun though. We're very close friends, so there's a lot of blah, 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 you know what I mean? But we have fun.
I love that.
And we're doing well.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're also, if My Good it's responding as a mother in a lot of ways to these families, I can see why you would end up having all women, at least for now, running it, because it really is it's a caretaking thing, and that is something women tend to be better at.
Yeah, it's very requires a lot of nurturing and a lot of patience, and being available. It definitely was a timing thing. I don't know if everything was going like it was before. If we would have had the time to do this, because everybody was doing full-time other stuff,
Right.
Yeah. So it's been a while. I think this whole thing, made everybody discover a lot of things. So we'll see what happens,
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you mean? Like, what have you discovered?
Well, a lot. I've learned a lot about. I didn't realize how lazy I was, like how available I am to just, because I used to be so busy. Like I was supposed to be gone all summer touring.
Yeah.
I'm never home. So I didn't realize just how much, I really just like, not doing shit. It's just actually really, really nice.
I feel that way too. Just being home.
It's super liberating to just,
Yes.
You're like, I don't have anything else to do.
How bad to get away from me. I didn't know how deep that was till this. Yeah, they got low. But what did you guys learn?
Wait, who got low? Say that again.
I said my kids, they gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't understand how important that was till all this happened.
Yeah, you can just keep checking in with me. I will keep reassuring you that your kids need to go. I think it's all good.
Okay, thanks.
I think I've learned the same thing. Like I'm living at the beach, and so it's like country, suburban, and I'm really liking being in nature more and like not being so busy, as you say. Like I go into the city, I go into Brooklyn like every 2 weeks to get my mail and do a couple things, and I love the city and I miss my apartment, but it feels exhausting, like the busyness, the old routine. But I do wonder what that says about where we're going to go. Like, are we going back to that lifestyle, or I don't know.
I don't know.
I gotta say, it doesn't does it feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel super appealing to me. Like I was like 24/7, 365, 5 things all at once, always moving, always on a plane. And now I'm like, this is the longest stretch I've gone as an adult without flying all over the place. And I get to, I mean, on the one hand, I like my kids are younger, so I get to see them. And I think that like all of a sudden we know each other differently. I actually like my family. I was like, I actually like all of you people. Not that I wasn't sure, but you know, it was nice to kind of, you know, get a chance to touch back down with them. But I don't know, the thought of being on the road the way that we were before, it kind of gives me anxiety. That was a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
We were doing a lot.
But I also think we just don't even know how we feel right now in October with all this Trump. Like, I think we're not aware of how much this election is freaking us the fuck out. And until it's over, I feel a little bit like we're just in a state of suspended animation. Like, imagine how we're going to feel if Biden wins, like the relief we're going to feel.
What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, honestly, I'm praying every day that a lot of those guys start to die, but I don't think, I mean.
You're not allowed to say that on the air.
Sorry.
You're not allowed to say that.
Sorry. Okay. Well,
I'm trying to keep the Secret Service from your house.
Oh, sorry. Good point.
It's start to die, so that's different.
Yeah, everybody's going to die. So I just want to reassure everyone, no one gets out of this thing alive.
That's right. We're all going to die eventually. That's right. That's what I meant.
Start to die. It's totally different than
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think any, you know, it's really, really scary. I mean, I think all the stuff about, you know, all the myths that he's promulgating about voter fraud, you know, and how much they're going to try and use that. Obviously, I don't know. I wish I did. But I'm very excited for, how do you feel about Kamala? Who was your VP pick?
I actually thought he was going to pick Susan Rice, but I get Kamala. She's a lot more popular and she's more outspoken and people know who she is. So, but I think Susan Rice would have been great.
Yeah.
Low key rooting for her.
Yeah, a lot of people. She was great. I've always liked Kamala, and for some reason, so I mean, I would have been excited, obviously, with anyone, but I'm really psyched to see this debate on Wednesday.
That's gonna be so wild. I can't wait to see that one.
It's gonna be wild, and hopefully, it'll be like a real debate, not like the last one.
Yeah.
What would you call that?
That was like a WWE wrestling, like the intro to a WWE match when they're just yelling across the ring, except only one person was yelling. Like I kept expecting someone to go, "Let's get ready to rumble."
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And I didn't even watch it.
You didn't watch the whole thing?
I can't, my nerves can't, I can't handle that kind of upset.
No, you're right. My line about it has been like, I'm not one of these women who would typically like just to say like, oh, I felt abused seems a little melodramatic, but I felt abused. Like it was traumatic. Like I went to sleep so upset. Like he's a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if you have had anybody yelling at you in your life consistently, that is the stuff, like he's a no-no for me.
Yeah. No, I think you're right too, Lonnie. It really brings back, it's PTSD if you've had people who've really yelled at you like that bullying behavior.
He's just kind of gross just to look at and hear him talk. I just couldn't, you know, it's hard to really sit and take him seriously.
Yeah. I usually this was the first time I've actually watched him in 4 years, like sat down and watched him from beginning to end. I usually can't bear to. Yeah. Courtney Hollis, thank you. Courtney says what's going to happen is Trump is going to get crushed in this election, and to think anything else is putting bad vibes into the world. Okay, Courtney. I hear you.
I agree.
Yeah. And are you going to vote in person, Macy?
No, I'm gonna mail mine in. I was just thinking, you know, everybody's forgetting there's FedEx, there's DHL, there's UPS. So if you're all nervous about the post office, just FedEx it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Just FedEx your mine. But I think he's all just talk. I don't think he can do all that he thinks he can do. Like he thinks he's this dictator guy. Like if he calls the post office, they have to throw away all the ballot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a realistic view of what he actually has power over, and I think he thinks that we're all stupid, like don't go vote because it's fraudulent, you know, and then we'll sit back and say, oh, okay, I won't vote. Like he seems to have like just not a realistic view of the world and how it works and what people are.
Doesn't he seem like, I feel like he would be a good character like on the Flintstones. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he's like a cartoon character for sure.
He is for sure, but he's also a little like Hitler. I mean, there's the, you know, he is like Fred Flintstone, but he's like Fred Flintstone meets Hitler, in my opinion.
But Hitler had the power to do all the things he wanted to do. Trump doesn't.
You're right.
I think Hitler also read more books and understood politics a little bit more.
Hitler actually had some artistic talent apparently too. So there you go. I don't think Trump has any particular talent.
Oh my God. What is terrifying in this moment is we're all saying that Hitler was smarter and better.
He was way smarter. This guy just doesn't have a clue.
Oh.
All right, my last question for you, Macy. I don't know about Tulani, but I'm curious what you've been watching like on Netflix or Amazon. Like what's your favorite binge of quarantine?
Okay, so my last binge was this show called Undercover on Amazon.
Oh, I don't even know that.
Yeah, no one seems to know. I think I'm the only one that watched it. When I ask people, everyone says, I don't know. But it's really good.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty deep.
Okay, it's on my list. Anything else?
And what else? I've mostly been watching like, you know, I'm a fan of like stupid stuff. Bar Rescue, you know, Family Guy.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to focus for a long time. So I end up just watching stupid stuff most of the time.
Nice. Fun.
It's a lot, right? But anyway, I don't know. What are you guys watching?
Ooh. I tried to watch the Dusk Till Dawn series, the Netflix version, because I feel like quarantine has made me have ADHD. So I need something that I can do 5 other things while it's playing. And since I already know what happens, I don't have to pay attention to it. So I can crochet and eat because I've been eating everything in quarantine. All of it.
It's amazing. You're an amazing crocheter.
Yeah. You're eating too, Macy? All of it?
Like crazy. Like there's no tomorrow. I really have to figure out how to get this weight off though, because it's not attractive.
I put on the full COVID-19 and I just like, it's just what it is.
I think I'm at to like 24.
I'm not sure I believe either of you, I have to say, because you both look really great.
She's tall and I'm tall.
But she is super tall. Yeah, I read Macy's like 6 feet tall. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
So awesome.
6 feet, the same thing.
All right, so 20 pounds on that doesn't show very much.
Yeah, but you feel it. Like I'm walking around like, oh, I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
You feel it on your butt, you know.
I feel like that scene in The Inkwell when the guy's walking with his corduroy pants and he goes, "You can start a fire."
Exactly.
Well, do you do any exercise at home? Have you joined the Peloton craze like everyone?
No. I'm moving into like, I'm just getting into stretching.
Okay.
I don't know how to work out, but I'm just getting like, I'm going to stretch and then I'm going to work out.
Okay.
And then, like, you know, I have to work myself up to it.
Yes.
And it's just so much fun.
Well, there's like, I say to my kids, I'm like, I touched my toes today. And there you go. And now I'm going to have some pita chips.
Exactly. Now I'm going to get another pizza.
I had pancakes for breakfast, so I'm with you.
Good.
It was so good. My boyfriend made it. It was very good.
Nice.
That's so great.
All right. Well, it's super sweet of you to do this.
I had a good time. Bingo night. Don't forget October 24th, mygood.org. We're gonna have a
We
ball.
will not forget bingo night, and we'll promote it in our community and let everyone know. And I'll be there for sure. That sounds really fun. And I'm just so honored and thrilled to meet you.
You too. Tell your mom I said hello.
Definitely. And thank you for doing this. And thank you for my good.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
All right.
All right.
Miss Gray. Get those kids out. Kick those kids out.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Talk to you later. Take care.